it's so, oh my God, it smells bad. Woo! Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be working on this Scat Pack Magnum that is behind me. This car was brought to me by a subscriber from Michigan, and it went through a bunch of different shops. They were trying to do the swap, trying to get it running, and the more shops it seems it went through, the worse things got. So the worst thing about this whole situation is the subscriber had a shop, or they said that they put the car in neutral. He towed the car down here. The car was definitely in park when he got down here. The rear differential is leaking, so I'm guessing the rear differential cracked. The drive shaft was still in it. He used the tow dolly to tow it down here. That is like the biggest no-no. If you don't know that, rear wheel drive cars, if you're gonna tow them on a tow dolly, pull the drive shaft. It will save you a rear differential, most likely a transmission, and it could also hurt the engine. I don't know if it hurt the engine because this is an automatic, but if it's a manual, it's definitely going to spin your engine backwards, and then you're not gonna have any oil pressure. Since the transmission most likely was in park the whole way down here from Michigan, I think that is the first thing I'm going to look at. The other thing is all the shops that previously worked on the car, it seemed like they cut more and more wires to try to get this thing to work and run. And now all the wiring harnesses are just hacked up. I had the subscriber get a brand new or a used new harness that isn't cut up for the engine bay. Looking back here, you can definitely see that there's a lot of oil and stuff that was leaking while he was towing it. I have no clue what it looked like before. Move the wheels here, let's listen. So it has a lot of backlash. It looks like it might have a crack right through here. You can see all the oil that is coming down this whole side of the differential, and it just has a lot of backlash. I mean, a lot. So I can compare this to my Magnum outside really quick. Comparing it to the Magnum outside with a Scat Pack differential, it is way tighter. You can tell that, you can hear the difference. The same thing. It just has a lot more play. So this differential might work for, who knows, maybe 500 miles, maybe more. I'm gonna let him know that he might need a diff. What I heard more about is this transmission. So you can see that it's not held. It should be in park right now, and we can spin the drive shaft freely. So that is not good at all. These bolts have not been touched ever. So I'm gonna pull the transmission pan off of this. Crack really is in a spot that, you know, I would think would be caused by turning backwards, but let's get this pan off of here. Let's drain the oil out of the pan. Oh no. So I cracked the plug, and this stuff, it smells like when you burn something on a barbecue. It's not good. All right. Okay. A moment of truth. This is what I did not want to see. I didn't think it was going to be this bad. I think every clutch in the transmission is smoked. Look at this. It's like hard. Like these are pieces of the transmission, but it's like material. It's like hard. Look at that. Holy crap. What is going on? Is that a magnet or what? That has to be a magnet. Look at this. ASMR of destroyed transmission. Yeah. I don't think this transmission is going to survive. Yeah, this is definitely, yeah, no good. Jesus, look at that. Look how much there is. I've never seen this much. Oh my God, the whole front is all full. That's bad. That is not good at all. Holy crap. That is like the worst I've ever seen. I know the condition of the transmission and that it needs to be replaced. That's a good starting point, because that could be one of the reasons when the subscriber got here, he said the car would power up before he left, and then when he got here, it wouldn't power up at all. And on the Dodge transmissions, these two wires that are on the parking sprag tell it if it is in park, which with all of that metal right there and clutch material, those two wires could have gotten broken or something could have happened, because all that is, so all those two wires are that go to the parking sprag is this magnetic sensor. If anything happens to the tip of this, which if it had a bunch of metal and stuff going around the, you know, around the parking sprag, it could have sheared that sensor off or broken the wires, which could be making it so the ECU doesn't see that it is in park, which makes sense because when we try to start it, the shifter was flashing in park and it wouldn't do anything. It wouldn't even power up. So what I want to do now, since I know that transmission is no good, I'm going to drain the diff fluid to see how that looks, because that is another thing I'm worried about. After I'm done with the diff fluid, I'm going to get another pan and we're going to drain the engine fluid or the engine oil so we can see if anything happened with the engine, because I'm unsure at this moment if an automatic transmission can spin the torque converter and then the engine backwards, which if the engine spins backwards, it does the exact same thing that it does to the transmission. Oil pump then doesn't pump fluid through the engine and causes a catastrophic failure just like this. So hopefully that didn't happen. All right, so I have a nice clean pan and I'm going to pull these two plugs. Always make sure your top plug will come undone first, because if you can't fill it from the top, you can't fill it at all. Oh man, this kind of smells gnarly too. Well, I think this will have a magnet in it, so I guess it doesn't have a magnet in it. Yeah, that definitely doesn't look good though. All right, so I have the end scope. We're going to look inside of here and see how bad things are. That's weird. Like oil. Almost looks like cracks. Look at that on the edge right there. Like a bunch of hairline cracks right there, and that's where it's leaking. So there's the teeth. They just look super worn. Look at the face of them right there. Look at that. I don't know, I mean, and then there's all these cracks. Look at all these hairline cracks. I wish I could see in the, that looks like a piece right there. It's hard to tell. But I think those are all hairline cracks right there. I don't know. I think he should get a new diff, but I mean, he probably could go until this one blows apart, but then I'll need new axles. The larger pan just cleaned it out so we can make sure. This is a 13. Let's crack this bolt, drain the fluid out of it. Jeez, that's tight. It's a little dirty. It's not bad. Looks a lot worse in the pan than it does coming out. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see anything. Man, what is all that? Here's the pickup. Should be able to make that look up. Okay, I don't know if I'll be able to see very much. It's hard to really tell. I can see the oil pump right there. I can see the first rod. I mean, everything looks pretty decent. I don't see any chunks. I see a few little things on the bottom of the pan, but I mean, that's probably normal. All those little tiny pieces of metal, I think those are normal. So I think the engine is good without starting it. Who knows? But I think the diff is a maybe. The transmission's definitely a no. Just got the subscriber's Magnum back on the ground, and unfortunately, there's no way around him not having to replace the transmission because it is totally destroyed. But the good thing is the engine looked really good. I didn't pull the pan. I looked in there with the bore scope and it looked okay. There wasn't any big metal chunks that came out. There wasn't any caps laying in the bottom of the pan. The oil looked dirty, but it didn't look metallic-y. Also, the differential is a maybe. So there was a lot of fine metallic-y metal that came out in the fluid, but who knows if it could last maybe 1,000 miles, maybe less, who knows. But I think what's going to happen is he's going to get a new transmission, a new differential. We'll get this thing all buttoned up when those parts come. But unfortunately, I couldn't get anything running and driving today, which was the plan. So I'm going to end the video here. If you like these videos, make sure to click that subscribe button, throw a thumbs up, throw a comment below. As always, see you guys next time.